So I tried to make this list applicable to majority of players, so if you have been playing this game for a while, or if you're a beginner, this should all be helpful to you. Now getting into it, starting with number 1, it's crosshair placement. Now this isn't just going to be aim head height, you'll get more headshots, you'll get more kills. Now, I don't really think aiming head height is always the best thing to do. Sometimes it's better to aim chest height. If you expect someone to be crouching or potentially crouching, it's not a bad idea. But besides that, the more important thing about crosshair placement is to be staying ADS'd most of the time when you can, like this, and to be scanning your room for where you expect people to be. So here, let me just talk about this a bit. Now, if I'm going down these stairs, I'm just going to kind of scan over this room easy. I'm going to check the side of this door first for people peeking over the door. And I'm going to check the door frame back in the hallway. And I'm going to check this wall if it's open. I'm going to check this deployable, and I'm going to check around this corner and through the rotate that would be there. It's very important to kind of scan as you're entering rooms, because when you don't have to move your crosshair as much, say this Prisma is a person, if you're aiming at where you expect someone to be, when you peek them, your crosshair is already either on their head or, say, close to their head. If you peek out here, like, if you expect someone to be at that doorway, then try to aim at that doorway. And try to be fast when you're peeking. If you're moving through somewhere, let's say, if you're trying to push up somewhere, just stay ADS and keep on aiming. Walk down a hallway. You'd have no need to sprint. And try and scan as you get by. And just try and keep going through. Now, it's not always easy to scan, like right there. You've got a lot to watch here. Now, in this situation, you can try and take it more slow. But if you have no intel, then you probably shouldn't be peeking something, especially a hallway like this. But sometimes you have to, and you just gotta try your best. Now let's say you keep getting down here. I'll check up here, and then I'll check to the side. Check my hard right, and then peek directly left. Peek over this box, through the hallway, hard left, to the side, and just kind of trying to make sure that everything's clear before I'm pushing in. Because a lot of people, their problem is they rush things. They try and go fast and they get caught. Tip 2. Continuing to push after a kill. Now, this is for roamers specifically, but when you're roaming, your job is to waste time, and when you get a pick, you can't keep pushing forward. You need to take that pick and you just need to fall back. Most of the time, if you push forward, what will happen is you'll die. Because the attackers are going to have the intel on you, and most of the time, you will not have the intel on them. And so the gunfight is naturally going to be a lot easier for them. The attackers can adjust their positions to isolate you and cut off your rotations quite easily. So falling back and either changing your position or going back to site, if you can, is a better option if it's possible. But for 3, it's lack of aggression when needed. When your team's at a disadvantage, like it's a 4v5 or a 3v5, you need to be getting more aggressive, because if you let the round play out like normally, you're going to lose if you're at that disadvantage most of the time. Now, if it's a 4v5, you want to try and take more risks, get a little bit more aggressive, try and look for an opportunity. But if like the clock is low and it's a 4v5, you really want to find a pick soon. If it's a 3v5, you really need to get a pick soon. It's really important, or else you're just going to get rolled over. Another situation is if you're getting pushed into, and say you can't really retreat anywhere. This is pretty common when roaming or even anchoring when a team is executing onto site. Now, a lot of people are going to hold an angle and hold their position and try to trade, but what you should try and do is try to anticipate when the enemy is going to peek you. Doing this, you can peek them and kind of make it more even, because if you get yourself peeker's advantage, that's going to increase the chance of you winning a gunfight, even if you're going to get traded out immediately after. Holding an angle is really going to get you killed, especially right now, where peeker's advantage is, for some reason, extremely powerful. For 3, it's using the same barrel on every weapon. Now, despite what the definitions of each attachment is, they don't always affect the gun the same. On some guns, certain attachments are better, Like, sometimes I use compensator, muzzle brake, flash hider. It really just depends on the gun. They all affect different guns differently, so I would suggest testing each attachment with every weapon before you choose which attachment you're going to use. Although the only time I would say that there is a superior attachment is with the secondary SMGs, like the SMG-11 and the Bearing 9, which the flash hider is just much better than all the options. For number 5, it's not adjusting your playstyle or setup. Now, playstyle and setup are two separate things, so I'm going to talk about playstyle first. Now, mostly I'm talking about, well, it can be both aggression and passiveness. Say you're playing a position, really aggressive, you go for a run out or something. Obviously that run out's not going to work a second time. That's why you don't do it again. But people don't really think about that past runouts. What about the way you hold a position? Say you're holding yellow stairs on consulate, and the first time you're holding it, you're playing very passive, and because of this, you get killed. Because the attackers can kind of just walk on you and just shoot you because you're not really reacting to them. So you try getting a little bit more aggressive and choose a moment to get extremely aggressive and peek the skylight and it gets killed. Like moments like that where you kind of like just taking a risk or choosing to just change how you play. That's really all it is. Just if you're playing the same, the other team is gonna be able to predict how you're gonna react to something. Now for playstyle, I mean, not for playstyle. For setup, it can be like changing a rotation, changing something to lounge the sight, or changing where you're placing ADSs, shields, or whatever, right? Or even the operators. Like, you need to adjust how the attack is going to attack, or how the defense is going to defend, so just try and think about how you want to adjust mid-round, and I promise it'll help a lot in-game and make you a much better player if you can adapt. This last tip is very simple, and I'm going to explain it in here. So basically, it's using smokes wrong. So for example, this is going to be initiation, the bomb site. So you've got the bombs like here or something, somewhere around there. An office and initiation. A lot of teams are going to take control of cache, top dragon, and initiation. Open the office wall and try and plant office. That's a pretty default attack for initiation. And a lot of teams are going to open up this wall for rotation so that they can prevent the attackers from pushing into office from yellow. Say, well, Mai's there, right? Now you might also have holes here, and so as the attackers, you might even have a hole there. If you know vault is clear, if you know office is clear, you're ready to go for an execute. You have control of cache, you have all the control you need. Got your cap tower here, cache here, thermite here. Say nomads over here, and then you got your maverick chilling over here, right? Thermite's ready to go in for the plant. Cap tower's ready to smoke it out. So, what should you smoke out? No. If you know vault is clear, but they can go on it, then you're probably going to need to smoke out vault, and you're going to need to smoke out here. Because the attackers can watch this rotation, and thermite can plant here, because there's hard wall, you know, between them, right there. Now, let's say, let's put Maverick there. Let's say this wall is not reinforced. Not open. Let's say it's reinforced. Then Capitao is going to have better options. He's going to need to smoke out this for sure. And then he's going to want to smoke out. It really doesn't matter, but this is probably better for the attackers because they can watch this doorway much better than the rotate over here. But Thermite can now run pretty much anywhere in office and have a good plant spot, like here or here or really anywhere. But you just want to try and smoke off the defenders and not the attackers. Like a bad example of smokes is 1 second. You open this wall, you smoke out where you're planting, like you smoke out here, which is where you're planting, but you don't smoke out the you smoke out here too. You don't smoke out the defenders. Say there's one here, there's one here, and there's one even in vault. They're just going to be lobbing nitros, they're going to be taking shots into the smoke. Like, you're trying to blind the attackers, not yourself. It's just a basic concept that a lot of people don't get at pretty much every rank. But if you can learn to smoke the right way, it'll help a lot with executing correctly. Because doing this is going to result in a failed execute a lot of the times. But that's all I had to say for this video. If you learned something, give the video a like. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe. Toodles.